Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Saksham Chabra and today it's another podcast that I'm recording and I'm having another guest on my channel. This is a person who's attending the most demanding course in entire Ireland at the moment, and it is one of the booming sectors as well. So he'll be over here to give us insights and information, and a lot of people have been asking me particularly to review this course. So he's going to help us over here. So without further ado, let's start the video. So, hello Rahul.
Hey,
Welcome onto
Saksham.
the channel.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And thank you so much for sparing time to come onto the channel. It means a lot. And to the audience as well, because the course that you are doing right now. We'll talk about it. So I'll give you the chance to introduce yourself first.
Okay, so hey all, hi viewers. My name is Rahul Priyadarshi. I am from the city Ranchi, back in India. Working as a consultant back in Deloitte, and previously I used to work work in Northern Trust as a financial consultant and investment operations team. And currently here in Dublin, studying MSc Finance, the highly demand course and the most expensive one as well in UCD Smurfit. And yeah, I know Saksham back from India. We have been speaking for quite some time right before taking our flights to Dublin, and it's great to have myself being invited here at Saksham's show. Thank you so much.
That's all my pleasure.
Yeah.
So, can you elaborate how did you make the choice of UCD specifically? Because we all know that Trinity also holds a good name.
Exactly.
So why UCD?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say why Dublin. So
Yeah.
back in India, when I was working in Deloitte, I just thought of taking a career break and go for a master's program. Unfortunately, in India, we have a minimum master's of 2 years. We don't get any exemptions. So I didn't want to spend too much of time and 2 years of my career in studying. So I decided to move abroad. USA was not a good option because it's highly expensive, and to be very honest, US is not a good option for finance because they don't actually have good opportunities for non-Americans back in USA. Coming to Europe, since the global economy and the global market is not that good for job sectors, at the same time it's highly expensive out here. UK was my first choice because it's being the hub of and the historical significance of UK as the academic learning country, but UK is also not being that good, and the cost of living is extremely expensive. The other countries, be Germany, Spain, Italy, some universities which are shortlisted, are good, but at the same time, the country is not that multilingual. Okay, you may speak English, but the course curriculum doesn't support that much of English as a language of education. So I came to Ireland. I came to know about Ireland actually, and it was kind of cheaper as compared to UK. At the same time, it's very close to UK, and I found that a lot of financial hubs actually have the background and the setup offices, be it your American companies, UK companies, or the other companies from Europe here in Ireland because of taxation benefits. So it makes perfect sense for me to join Ireland.
Thank you so much for elaborating on that. That's a good insight because I think we all went through the same mentality while we were shortlisting and boiling ourselves down to Ireland specifically.
Yes.
So, now coming back to the question, why UCD over Trinity or maybe any other business school?
Yeah. So actually, there are other universities as well. I mean, I know they are like good ranking ones, like UCD, TCD. We all know Galway is a good one. However, Galway is more towards your research incentive university, and it's not in Dublin. It's in Galway, and for Galway, you have to be like 3.5 hours away from Dublin. It's a small township, beautiful one, but definitely Galway. And I don't want to go into research-based intensive university or courses. Trinity, very academically, historical significance. It's compared as equal to Oxford in terms of its lineage and time period. Well, I think 500-600 years old. But at the same time, Trinity is again a research-driven university, and it's the courses for 9 months, and it's a lot restrictive to risk and management courses as compared to the current world business and management consulting projects. So that's why I chose UCD because it's running for 1 year exact, and it's more project and deliverables based intensive university as compared to just writing and exams. So yeah, that's why I chose UCD. It's globally very doing like really good. At the same time, the course and curriculum is very much in alignment to the what the industry demands right now, and it has very good affiliations, and it is very much in connect with the industry experts right now.
Okay, that's really good of an insight. And would you agree on to this thing that I'm about to say right now? I think I've done fair share of my research about UCD versus Trinity. I recommend this thing to everybody. you want to come for any business related course, UCD should be your priority.
Yeah.
If for anything else, Trinity is the go-to choice.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I totally agree with it.
Complete. That's a good point to note, guys, because sometimes people can get confused between UCD and Trinity, and that is where this suggestion is going to help you out. Now let's talk about, can you give a brief overview of the course, how it is for you and what all you've learned so far, and what is your actual expectation that you can get something out of it after its completion?
Okay, so my first suggestion and feedback for this course would be it's not easy. It's really, it's a very time consuming and very tedious. At the same time, you do have a lot of learning curve, because you will unlike India, where we are given just a chapter, we have to learn it, memorize it, and speak out whatever we have in a paper. It's not that. If you have 1.5 hours of written exam, it has to be 1.5 hours. The questions are extensive, the syllabus is extensive, so you have to be very particular with your learning and what you deliver. Same time, the projects here are highly academic. So it's not as if you just go and chat GPT and get the feedbacks. You have to be very on toes with what the research paper says, what the learning material which the professor gives us. It has to align with it. And you do have to work a lot, because apart from the individual project, you will have each and every subject as a group project as well. So in some group projects, you will have the liberty to choose your own team, but most of the projects, basically 90% of the projects, you will be assigned a random team. So it will be a good opportunity to work with multiple country and cultures as well for you. Mostly will be Irish, but I have worked with French, German, people from Netherlands, Chinese mostly, Vietnamese. Okay, so you will be learning about a lot about other cultures and how the mindsets of people from different country works, and you can definitely learn a lot. Not only academic, but also culturally and professionally as well.
Yeah. And if I were to ask you this one thing, like you might have had certain expectations before you started the course, and now we are almost done with half of the course, I would say more than that. So do you think that college has been able to serve all those expectations?
I would not say entirely satisfied with it, because right before I wanted to join UCD, I had a lot of paradigms in my head, as in what should I be prepared about. Okay, these like I've been into finance but not into coding. Okay, so a lot of AI and tech related applications and tools were told to me to be prepared with, like Python or C++, or not C++ and MATLABs, all those stuff. But honestly, right before coming from India, it was not that very easy to just wrap up all these through AI tools in just 1 month or 2 months of time. So basically, I didn't know. Okay, but after coming here, it's not as if you need to know, but if you have to put effort, you must put effort in learning, because that way you will also learn a lot about it. At the same time, there are AI tools which you can use for sure. ChatGPT is a good one. I would recommend to take premium versions of it, but don't rely on it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, that's a good thing to point it out, that you've told the audience that they should be handy with such tools like Python and languages like C++ and Java, because it kind of gives you the competitive edge over others. And since you are a person who is coming from a very good corporate background, who had such an experience, because I'm assuming that not everybody who's going to attend this course is going to be a experienced person. There are people would be like freshers, so to give them the competitive advantage, they can learn these skills, and they do have, I think, at least 6 months now.
6 months,
yeah, they can start learning on it.
Yes,
that's a good thing. And one more question: if you could change one thing about your course, what would that one thing be?
It's a tricky question, actually.
And the light has gone.
Oh,
we are back. It's the motion sensor. Okay, so I knew this was going to happen. We were not moving too much. That's a good thing. So but please continue.
So the one thing which I would like to change is actually, I think I need some time to think about it. Maybe I can answer it in the last.
Definitely, no problem. I'll just mark it as
unanswered.
As unanswered for the moment being. Okay. Let's play a game to make it a little bit more interesting.
Cool.
The viewers might be getting bored a little bit.
Okay.
So this game is called Rated Dublin and UCD Edition. So you have to rate the things that I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
Take your time, think, and give me one-liner reasoning for why is it on that rating as well. Okay?
Okay.
So the scale is like 1 to 10, 1 being the terrible, 10 being the amazing.
Okay.
And in terms of quotient, it can change in regards to the spectrum, like terrible to good, it can be least expensive to most expensive,
expensive.
things
Okay.
like that. Okay?
Okay.
And you have to give me one liner reasoning as well.
Okay.
So let's go.
Cool. Let's start.
Yeah. First thing is public transport in Dublin.
2.
Why?
Reason being, it's not that well webbed within the city. Yeah.
Fair enough. UCD campus vibes.
There are 2 answers. If you are in UCD Belfield, it is a world in itself. You are going to enjoy a lot, so definitely 10. If you are in UCD Smurfit, I'll say 2 because you actually don't have a lot of stuff in UCD Smurfit. You have to rely mostly upon UCD Belfield because it's kind of far, around 4 kilometers. Yeah, if you
It
have a
almost
cycle,
takes an hour to reach
an
there.
hour, an hour actually, yeah, to reach.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that way, UCD Smurfit 2, UCD Belfield, I would say, okay, not 10, but 8 approx.
Fair enough. Finding part-time jobs.
2, definitely.
Reasoning.
So, reason being, no matter when you try, you actually have to spend a lot of time and you have to face a lot of rejection. You should be ready with rejections for sure. Okay, and it is grueling. It takes some time, but but they are part times, to be very honest. Okay, you have to be consistent and you don't have to be dejected at all if you are getting a no as an answer for sure.
And I think one more point to add, they should be open for any sort of work.
Oh,
they should not be very much
yes.
selected, like I don't want to work this and have that kind of privilege in their lives. That's not how it's going to work.
So,
Like
adding on
so
to-
whatever comes to your way, I think you should accept it in the initial go.
Absolutely. So, I mean, at starting, so when we were all just starting to getting know each other, so there was a girl who used to say, if I get a job in a bookstore, then I'll think about it. And then you'll think about it.
I mean, that's a really good
Exactly.
job, being surrounded by the books, and you just have to
No, I mean,
cost them out.
in the sense, first of all, you're looking for a specific job, and if
Yeah.
you get it, then you will take it.
I don't
That's
think people
completely absurd.
People don't understand how the part-time
Exactly.
job works over here.
Exactly.
It's not like you have the choice.
And
But still, if you get lucky with multiple hours,
Yes,
that's
yes,
really great.
definitely.
But yeah, let's
But-
continue.
Yeah, sure.
The Irish weather.
1.
Why?
It's summer, winter, spring, or rainy season. It always rains. Okay.
In one day.
In one day. So basically, within 10 minutes, you can have all 4 seasons.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Nightlife in Dublin.
I would say 7 because you do have a lot of drinking. Okay, so people who drink would definitely like to enjoy the nightlife and pubs here. But at the same time, after 8:30 or 9 in the city, it kind of gets tacky. But in the south, which is more safer, you can still have a good vibe in the south. Yeah,
Fair enough. Cost of living in Dublin.
definitely 1. It's very expensive. Okay, you actually have to be lucky enough to find an affordable house. I'm not saying it's not available, it is available, but you have to be persistent with that. Okay, and you have to spend some good amount of time in searching, researching, and talking with people who are not even living in Dublin, but who have moved out of Dublin, because you can get good references on somebody else's terms.
Fair enough. Next question. Making friends in UCD.
Okay, I would rate it 8 because UCD actually gives you a good opportunity to interact with a lot of people, not only Indians. However, Indians account like 75 to 80% of the UCD batch. To be honest, I mean, I'm an Indian talking on Saksham's
Definitely.
show.
Definitely.
Okay, so it is there, but at the same time, you will get people from different countries and cultures to interact. You will have full opportunity. As I said, the basic one being your group project. So you will be interacting with a lot of people from different countries.
Yeah. One last final question for this game. Course difficulty.
Okay, I would rate it 9 because I will not rate it 10 because you can have an escape to some extent, given okay we will have some exams related on coding or Python, for example, but still it could be an open book given if the whole cohort struggles, so the professor can be a bit lenient in the sense he can ask you, okay, you can use ChatGPT, but the codes should not match. I mean, that's actually not that very easy to not have a copied code or a similar looking code, but yeah, that way. So there you can have a little bit of slack in the sense you will start to procrastinate. Okay, fine, we have a ChatGPT with us, so we'll easily have a walkout. So that way it's a bit unconvincing, but at the same time, a lot of other courses will have proper research and thesis paper. I mean, I'm very honored to be honest, as in a lot of topics which I took like for granted, like okay, cost culture. Then here after coming, they were proper research and thesis papers which was given to me, like why this. Okay, and then I have to run a proper OLS regression and find the relation and correlation between the topics and the pricing. So it was a really eye-opener for me, and now I'm enjoying it.
Fair enough. So thank you so much for playing this game with me
Yeah,
and
thanks, Sakshi.
sharing us with the bits and pieces of information, because anything that you've said in the past few questions is really actually helpful. People will realize this thing when they will be coming over here. They might
Yeah.
not feel like what are they talking about, but you will
Exactly.
eventually realize what he's talking about right now. Because trust us, we've been through it. We
Yeah.
are going through it, and of course, we are going to learn a lot. And as the way we will be sharing it with the people.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's continue with
Continue.
with the questionnaire that I have. So now let's talk about, we've talked about your course, and can you tell us about how did you get into the course, like the entire process, like were there any exams and things like that? What was the qualification criteria, and how much time did it take UCD to offer you the position for the offer letter?
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So it's basically a 1 year of rigorous,
Process.
pre-work process for me to come to UCD. So to be honest, it's not that complicated. I mean, right now I'm pretty sure the viewers who would be going through this
Yeah,
process,
they might have
will find
gotten
it-
their offer letters.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
At the same time, you would be like, no, a lot confused, like, okay, what next, what next? So to be very honest, if you are applying in UCD and TCD, so visa will not be an issue because these are the two premier universities in UCD in Ireland, and the visa process will be like 98 to 97% success. The other three unsuccessful would be people from some random universities they would be applying for, and they wouldn't be having a good background in academics, or they wouldn't be able to properly convince the scrutinizer about their objective of coming to Ireland. So they can have a visa rejection for sure. And yeah, before coming here, I actually thought maybe GRE or GMAT would be necessary. I gave my my GMAT actually. I scored around 323, which was decent enough. I used that, but however, it was not necessary. So you don't have to give any other third-party exam.
Yeah.
Like in India, we had CAT or MAT. So you don't have to, but the application has to be good enough. If you have good academics, definitely you are good. And if you have work experience, is an add-on, better. At the same time, you need to actually work more on your statement of purpose, SOP, which we have to give to the university, for the university, and at the same time to the visa department. Like, you don't want to actually continue and staying here in Dublin after your course ends, but
Yeah.
we all know the objectives. No, it's not restrictive to Dublin, to be very honest. It has to be out of Europe as well. So keep it open. Don't restrict yourself in just applying only in Dublin or in Ireland for work after your education is over. And visa will not be an issue, it will be easier. However, for more work, yeah, it has to be, it's a very bigger question, to be very honest. So contributing to all of it in one spectrum would not be that easy. How you can reach out to Saksham, or
Definitely. I will
yeah.
add your LinkedIn profile
Yeah, I
as
can
well
add
if
my
you
LinkedIn
want
profile
to
as well.
reach out
Okay.
to him, definitely.
Yeah.
And try to be professional when you're reaching out to these people, because they are really busy, and I would really appreciate if you're just not abusing them with a lot of questions at the same time. Just try to be polite and try to use LinkedIn to your advantage. That's why, you
Yeah.
know, what I've started doing is I'm adding the LinkedIn profiles rather than Instagrams, because
Yeah.
over Instagram
Thank-
people can be a
thank you so
little
much. Yes.
informal.
Yeah.
And I want them to learn this one thing, that you have to know how to use LinkedIn properly. So that's why
Yes.
I'm adding all the people I'm getting on the show, on this podcast kind of thing. I'm trying to add the LinkedIns so that they can understand how to use it properly.
Exactly. Thank you
It's-
so much, Saksham.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you for elaborating on that. And now let's talk about how the shift from India to Ireland has been for you.
Okay.
So
A very good
what
one.
were the unexpected things? Let's talk about that. What were the unexpected things that you faced when you came over here? And then later we can talk about, then this was expected and this happened in your way.
Okay, so the most unexpected, a good one actually.
Yeah.
People here are really thankful. Okay.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. People over here are very polite. Sometimes I question
Yes.
myself, why are they being this polite?
This polite, exactly.
It happens, and you will be surprised. They will be polite enough, I would say, if you've shown to the class. The
Yeah.
professors would be like, you don't give attention to the class, no problem. You are here. We are more than happy to have you. So that is the kind of politeness these people have.
Yeah, I mean, Irish people are really polite. They are
Yeah.
really friendly. I mean, see, there would be two answers on this. So, when you go to university, you would interact with a lot of Irish people. But if you would want to be a part of their group, that will not be possible. That's difficult to be, because I'll say you, Ireland is a small country. People here actually know each other, the Irish people. So they want to interact and contribute and make people a part of their team who are actually from Ireland. Okay, and with whom they can easily gel around. It's difficult for them to include any outsider, specifically an Asian, not only an Indian but an Asian. I can see, because I'm seeing this in practicality, into their group. They will be good with you professionally in class, but you won't be hanging out much a lot with them. Okay, that's possible. And at the same time, coming to the professors, people here. Okay, so right now when I was coming in the Luas, I was sitting on a seat. I saw a lady coming into the inside the train, I stood up to offer my seat. She said, no, it's fine, you sit. She went to the another seat, she sat there, fine. But the moment when the lady wanted to get out of the train, she made sure that she comes to me and thanked me that you actually took an initiative to stand up. Okay, so people are that good here. So you don't have to be afraid. Okay, so Irish people in specific are like really polite. And that was something which was a major shift in what I saw here, because in India we're like, "To kya ho gaya?"
Exactly, we had this mentality like if this person did something for us, it's not our obligation that we have to thank them. It's like they did it. They should have not been. They should have been very much selfish with their selfless. Sorry.
Selfless, yes.
So yeah. Now let's talk about how do you think people should manage their expectations before coming over here and their expenses. Let's talk about both. Firstly, expectations, like because people sometimes comes with a lot of expectations in their mind, like in regards to the timeline that they might have set for themselves, like I land a job within 2 months, like a part-time job, and then a full-time offer within 6 months.
6 months.
So let's talk about it, how to set the realistic expectations.
Okay, so I need to break this. You have to be very practical about it. And this could be grueling. This could be, very negative for you to some viewers from my end, but it is not easy. Okay. In fact, till this day, none of us have actually able to land an internship. Not because we cannot get it, it's just because it's difficult. Okay. At the same time, people who are actually coming with a work experience, for them, in fact, the UCD career management team, I have interacted with them a lot. They say that people who come here with an experience actually expect that since they have an experience, they have corporate world exposure, it will be easier for them to get along in the corporate culture in Ireland. It's not. Even if you have like 3 or 4 years of experience, still you are a fresher here in their eyes. And for this, they will first prefer their people, which is Irish people, and not you. Okay.
Which absolutely makes sense. Like they are not trying to be racist over it. It absolutely makes sense. Let me tell you how. Corporate world runs on this one major thing, which is profit.
Profit, yes.
The cost of hiring us, like international student, comes at a cost to them. So that's why they prefer local Irish, then EU students, because they don't have to sponsor their visa. Then thirdly, it will be the international crowd. So they're not being racist. You just have to understand this one thing, that they are running their companies, they need to think about the profits. And plus, at the same time, in the past, I've heard this thing from a lot of people, like what international crowd used to do, that they used to accept the offer letters and then you used to ditch just before the joining because they got an offer letter from some other country. That has negatively impacted our search for the jobs, because they've created this mentality like every other international student is going to do the same. So that's why they make sure that you have all the proper certificates and I would say visas with you, because getting a full-time job offer on stamp 2 is not easy. On 1G it's still possible, because in terms from company's view, they know that this person is now going to stay, because if he has upgraded himself to 1G, it shows that this person is now serious. And that is the case. And like, see, you are having two people from different set of and different years of experience in corporate. He's coming from a good experience of 4 to 5 years in the corporate, 5 years approximately, and I come from no experience. I just been running my own company for the past 1.5 years, as I told you. So anybody who's under the experience level of 2 years, apply for the grad roles. That is the rule book says.
Actually, we should tell them about what grad roles and experience roles.
Yeah. So basically, anybody who's coming with experience of less than 2 years, they apply for grad roles. Anybody having experience of more than 2 years, they apply for entry-level roles. So he's technically eligible for entry-level roles, and I am for grad roles. But my profile, what I've heard from the LinkedIn recruiters and a lot of people, is, I would say, very much on the top for a grad role, because I have experience of running my own company and double masters, but it's not suitable for an entry level role. It's undermined over there, but overmined in the grad roles. And plus, in his case, the major thing, I think I could be wrong over it, but the major thing that people look who are hiring for entry level roles is how immediately you can join. Since he being a student as of right now, that is the issue. So you have to set your expectations very practically, that these are the cases. I don't think anybody talks about this thing on camera.
Exactly. So if you think that coming here within 6 months or 8 months you land a job, it's not possible, because
it is, but still,
it's not. I mean, it's very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult, because even after 6 or 8 months, basically, even if you have to apply for an entry level role, the time period is not good because the companies don't start hiring for entry level role until August. May, August.
Yeah, I think he's right. Till
Okay.
August sometimes.
Yeah, till August, because that is the time when they hire for non-grad roles, which is like the experienced roles. So if the opportunities are not open, how will you apply?
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Yeah, and the grad roles actually start somewhere around December or January, because that is also the time when you apply for internships, because we have internship fairs at that time. So you apply then, but your interviews may happen somewhere around March or April, and from June, I guess.
Yeah.
From June, you can start doing the internship. So that is a part of grad roles, which is like the fresher roles.
Exactly.
Okay. For the experienced roles, it's strictly limited to August. However, keep on applying. If luck favors you, employers will contact you, and they may tell you that, okay, fine, right now you are studying, but we like your profile, so we are giving you an offer letter, but you can start joining after you finish your education, because basically you will get an upgrade of your visa after you finish an stamp, and that will make you legally eligible to work full time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's I think that is a very good point that we are touching right now, because nobody knows this thing. And when I came over here, I thought I was like ready, because I've done a lot of research about Irish job market and I've connected with a lot of people. But this bubble broke
Yeah.
when I came over here. It burst completely when I came over here, because I got to know that there are certain time and there's a proper timeline, and it is stretched over months. You have to follow it. You will have to go through these phases
Yes.
to eventually land a job, I would say.
And actually, by the time when you are actually studying here in UCD as a student, basically not only UCD, anywhere, so you are only allowed or eligible to work for 20 hours in a week. In a week, that could be 4 hours in a day, 8 hours in a day, does not matter. But in a week, only 20 hours. A lot of people, what they do after they complete their studies, they apply for full-time roles, but not in a corporate. Okay, like where we used part-time, like Centra or Spars or Dance.
Things like that.
Okay, yeah. So initially, when we have 20 hours, they converted it to 40 hours, but I think that is not a corporate role. It is still a part-time role extended to 40 hours. Okay, and people do this because they are unable to land a proper corporate job. Okay, so by the time they get a corporate job, they work here because they have to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to earn something.
Yeah, I mean, I think the things that we are talking is completely going to come off as a shock to the people who are
Yeah.
hearing, because I don't think anybody talks about these things on camera. And yeah, so one more question before we actually wrap up the entire interview. So would you recommend your course to the future students? If yes, why? If not, why? From UCD MSc Finance, I'm talking about.
Okay, so if you are someone who just wants to fluke and
Fair enough.
just have an honor of coming out of India and studying here, don't do that, please. Okay, if you're actually serious about learning and want to have a good global exposure about finance as a career, then please, I would highly recommend you can join UCD. I'm not saying it is the only university, it is one of the good universities in Europe overall. Okay, reasons being it is multilingual, English as a primary language, as an education, people are friendly, the cost of living is still comparatively less than what other European countries will charge you. Visa process is kind of easier, and a lot of Indian cohort you will find here. Okay, so a good one. And for definitely a no for people who just want to flew, because we have a lot of people not only in finance but in other cohorts as well, who are just here for the sake of coming to Ireland. So basically coming out of India, that's it. They know nothing, they don't want to put any effort into learning, they are basically dependent upon another students, which kind of damages our repute as an international students.
And also, would you recommend the viewers who are watching this right now to come with experience of more than 2 years, or come as soon as they graduate?
Oh, no, absolutely not. It's not mandatory, because I know a couple of people who are freshers, who are just out of graduation from India, and they're like really smart, and they are doing like really good here, like hitting GPAs of 3.64, 3.6 out of 4.2, like really good. And people with work experience of 4, I know a friend of mine who has been a manager in Morgan Stanley. He's doing good, but at the same time his GPA is not that great, not that high actually. Not great would be wrong to say, not that high, but he's also struggling, because we all are in the same boat. So it doesn't matter if you have an experience or not, but you should have the content and the intent to learn and explore. That's important. So you should have a very open mind in learning.
Yeah, fair enough. And also, I've seen a lot of people who just come out of their graduation pursuing your course specifically, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but even you will agree to what I'm going to say. IT finance, and pharma. These three are the booming sectors in Ireland at the moment. And finance being one of them, I know a lot of students who just graduated and they came over here. They're in UCD and Trinity, and they've been able to secure good grad level roles in a lot of, I would say, reputable Irish banks. And the average of salary that we are talking about is 40,000 euros.
Approx 40.
Yeah, that is the average average salary of the industry we are talking. So that's a good thing. If you are very much indecisive, like whether should I come directly or with some experience, if your experience is under 2 years, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if it's more than 2 years, then that's a different league altogether.
It's beneficial but not mandatory.
Exactly. And this is a thing that I do towards the end of every intensive section, every intensive interview that we do. Like, what are the learnings that you've had since the day you planted over here in the past 6 and 7 months? In terms of not just education, life, managing things and expectations and missing socialization, everything. You can
be as open as possible.
Definitely.
So the great thing which I would want to say that I learned here is time management. So as a student, you actually have to manage time, because everybody has 24 hours. You will have 24 hours in that you have to study, you have to reach back home, you have to cook food. Same time you have to manage your part-time, your expenses, your travel and everything. The second good thing which I learned is you have to be very humble here. Humility and humbleness are key to survive here. Because you have to be with people. You cannot just simply keep yourself aside and focus only on studies and only study. And those people who are nerds, only focusing on studies will not make you good here. Because people here are more practical and skill driven than just bookish knowledge. So you should invest in skills more than the throat learning and the education books which you want to carry with yourself here and continue the same practice. You have to be open up with food. So you have to be open up with food here, because it's not always Indian. You should be open to explore new stuff. It's a very naturally rich country, so definitely explore it. That we have to be open up. You have to be open up with your expenses, to be very honest, since it's expensive. So you have to prioritize your necessities first and wants later. Apart from that, any other point which you want specifically me to be answering about?
No, I think you've covered a lot about accommodation and costing and expectation. I think you've covered a good range of topics, I think.
And people who actually like to travel a lot, I would recommend take a bicycle. If you want, then take a bicycle from UCD Belfield campus. They give you a second-hand bike for a good decent price. I bought it for 200 euros, because since commute is not that very easy here. You may have bus, you may have Luas, you may have a Dart, but its outreach is very restrictive. So, and cycling is very you will be focusing on your health as well. At the same time, you can park your cycle anywhere and it's safe. You can lock it and then use the tram to go somewhere where you want to travel far from here, from one point to another, and then again use the bicycle. So that will be a good tip from me, because I'm using that. So that has helped me a lot in managing my part-time, my classes, traveling and exploring Dublin. So yeah, that's easier for me now.
So thank you so much for sharing those insights and your journey so far. And now, before we wrap up the entire video, let's play a game. One more game.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
come on, let's
fair enough. So this is called rapid fire questions, UCD edition. It has to be rapid. Okay? There are going to be 15 questions in total. Whatever comes to the first, speak it. 3, 2, 1.
What is
There's no scale.
No scale.
No scale. You just have to answer the questions right away. Whatever comes to your mind, just answer it. One word to describe your course.
Grueling.
Morning classes or evening classes?
Evening, definitely.
Best study spots on campus?
Study spots?
Yeah.
Haney's library.
Group projects or solo assignments?
I would say solo.
Favorite Irish food you've tried?
Irish food, I would say Irish breakfast.
Good one. Dublin city life or campus life?
City life, definitely.
One thing you wish you knew before coming to UCD?
Job hunt.
Biggest culture shock in Ireland?
It has to be biggest culture shock.
Yeah.
People are very open here.
Fair enough. Tea or coffee? Which keeps you going?
Coffee any day.
Most useful app for students in Dublin?
For students in Dublin. Students in Dublin. Actually, I don't go much with the app person.
I think, but still, I
But
would
we-
answer it on your behalf.
Okay.
Leap top up.
Oh yeah, good one. Good one. Leap top.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
And part-time jobs or full focus on studies?
Both.
Good one. One Irish slang you've learned and use often?
Cheers.
Cheers. I use this thing, grand.
Grand.
Yeah. Best budget hack for students in Dublin?
Budget?
Hack for students.
Budget hack.
Yeah.
Budget hack in which terms? Like daily
Like
cost?
how do
household
you
stuff?
manage your budget and your monthly expenses?
Monthly expenses. Play smart. Don't buy everything from one roof.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Would you rather have unlimited coffee or free Wi-Fi everywhere?
Unlimited coffee.
Your go-to spot in Dublin for any chill day?
City center.
Nice.
Yes.
You did great, and that wraps our entire interview.
Yeah.
And before we end, I would like to hand you over this
Okay.
little appreciation.
So this is what you have been carrying all this time.
Yes, this is just a
You?
token of appreciation for coming onto the channel.
Okay.
I really appreciate your time.
I will not open it as a surprise.
I really appreciate your time
Yeah.
and efforts that you put in. And anybody who feels like reaching out to him, I will drop the LinkedIn profile in the description as well. And else than that, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. And from my end, keep watching Saksham because actually going through his profile right before coming to Dublin made me talk to him more. Actually, we initially wanted to
Talk
take
about
accommodation
Yes,
together, but
yes.
he wanted to stay in city center and I wanted to stay close to Smurfit campus.
Yeah.
So, but still, distance is not not an issue here
See,
anymore.
we
if
are
you
here.
want to travel, yeah, see, we are here. So,
Yeah, thank you so much for the
great,
channel.
Saksham. It was great meeting you.
And yeah, and see you guys and meet you in the next one. Bye bye.
And also, lastly, follow, share, subscribe, and comment on Saksham's channel. Okay.
Thank you so much for doing it because I never do it on my page.
You don't, but I do.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Finally.
you, Sakshan. Yeah.
Finally.
Great talking to you. Bye,
Nice.
guys.